Okay, this will be a quick one because I have a headache. But I just finished watching The Flash, and then after that, of course, Black Lightning. I haven't done any videos lately because a lot of them are more of the same, and I've liked how the season's gone so far. But what I fear about shows a lot tends to be repetition, which is just sucking the life out of The Walking Dead. If that certainly sounds a bit ironic, but nevertheless, check out my Walking Dead videos. You'll see what I'm talking about. But this episode of The Flash, Enter Flashtime, it's got to be one of the absolute best Flash episodes. And over time, of course, the performances and actors and everything matures as it goes. Rather than losing life like, well, again, The Walking Dead. But here they kind of surprised me with this one, and it's pretty much kind of a standalone. You could walk in onto the show and enjoy this one. Very powerful performances, like edge of your seat type things for the Flash himself. And all the emotional connections between the other characters and whatnot, and his marriage and all that. And just all around a great episode. I'm trying to think back to some others, but this one, I think ranks probably at the top. And if they want to do better than this one, it's going to be hard to do. But on the other hand, as I said, I was worried that repetition was seeping into the Flash episode series, and most notably, of course, the overall arc. And of course, they've done that each season. And then the villain. The only difference now is that the main villain is not a speedster, whereas in the past it was all evil speedsters who were manipulating everything, and the other villains were just sort of filler for the series until you had the final showdown. Well, same thing here, but here we have kind of a deviation from that, unless it's revealed that the plot had something to do with the Thinker, the main villain of this season. And it could be, but there's no indication of that in this episode. But anyway, it doesn't matter. That this was just quite a powerful performance overall, and stretching the powers to the limit. And although it does the interesting thing about the Speed Force, I imagine that'll have to be revisited, as it kind of undoes something they did to get the Flash back from being in prison there and all that. But nevertheless, just on performance level alone, as a standalone episode for anybody who hasn't been following the series that much, this was a very good one, and you really should check it out. The interesting little aspects here is that, well, it's a terrorist attack, but they're eco-terrorists, which is true. There are eco-terrorists. So this was an interesting little deviation from programs that are too scared to take on the subject matter of terrorism for the political correct reasons and what have you. But here you have eco-terrorists, which does happen. So far, I don't think they've gotten to the point where they've actually killed anybody. There's been some people injured. There's been lots of property damage, fires and whatnot. And some of their advocates do say, yeah, we need to start killing people to get our message across and that sort of thing. So superhero stories are a world of extremes, of course. And so when you have a terrorist organization, they're going to go that far. And so it's an interesting little observation there that it was this terrorist organization that's an eco-terrorist group, Eden Corps, I believe they call themselves. But anyway, that's the antagonist, if you will, for the Flash to deal with, and so on and so forth. And it's always cool when you see John Lewis's ship on the show, the Flash from the original series in the 90s and all that. It's always cool. And so all around, great job. And so easily 5 out of 5 stars. I'd give them 10 if I had any, but this Enter Flashtime, magnificent showing for the Flash. I cannot recommend it enough. So after that, we had Black Lightning. Black Lightning got off to a really bad start, but it came around. The only criticism at this point is that it's kind of slow going, but they do have this building mysterious plot going, probably about the origins of superpowers in that area. It's looking more and more like the Alfred of the program, maybe a villain. And so we'll have to see. But boy, he really crossed some lines here. And a bit of a inter-gang war breaks out between the main villain, Tobias, and the mysterious, rather evil woman, Evelyn. Spoilers. Evelyn is no more, or maybe not. But never, because of the little cliffhanger at the end, a little mysterious little tidbit there. All the while, there's some things that are a little problematic. The boyfriend of the youngest daughter is being corrupted by Tobias. It's kind of, since Tobias doesn't know who Black Lightning is, it kind of stretches credulity that he would go after this guy just because he sees he might blame Black Lightning for his his paralysis and whatnot. So, but it's a superhero show. So but nevertheless, I'm sure we'll be seeing that coming along, and he'll probably get some kind of powers or metal legs or something. I don't know. Anyway, so it's moving right along. I think it needs to up the ante a bit, and probably before the season ends, they might want to go ahead and reveal what the mystery is. As far as I think we can pretty much guess that there was some sort of experiment here, probably involving government people, which I think is who the Taylor Gandy is about. And obviously his relationship with Evelyn was part of that deal. And he set up this whole thing, and he sees Black Lightning, I believe, kind of like his son. And he's thinking he's protecting him. But of course, when the whole thing blows up, I don't think Jefferson's going to see it that way. And is probably not going to forgive him. But then again, there might be some story where they can give him some redemption, probably resulting in Gandy's death. But nevertheless, that's how that goes. On the other hand, they kind of need him because he's their tech guy. Instead of having a crew of nerds, which I hope they don't do, this is an interesting point to break away from that template that he's the backup man for Black Lightning, the tech guy and all that. And instead of some, yet another young, geeky nerd guy or girl. I'm tired of that. So I thought that gives them some points for this show to do it in a different way. So anyway, it stresses the family. The family's coming together despite all the odds against them and the stresses and whatnot. The only one left out of the loop now is the younger daughter. I would be rather surprised if she doesn't have superpowers. I'm thinking she does. But at some point, I'm sure they'll get to that. But nevertheless, that'll probably be a problem when she finally finds out she's the last one to know anything. But strong scenes there of the importance of fathers, and the importance of your parents, of course, overall, and the cohesion of a family unit and all that is very good and positive and stressed by this. The politics kind of seep back in the previous episode, but they kind of deal with that rather quickly in this one. And so it's not as bad as the first episode was, which I just don't even watch it. Start with the second one. But the rest of the show is pretty strong. And this one just sort of continues in that. But it's kind of slow. And I've heard other people comment that they're kind of bored with it and that kind of thing. So you might want to step it up a little. As far as that. So, overall, it would be a 5-star rating, but man, coming after following The Flash, which helps the show because The Flash is, I think, the best of the CW, superhero shows. And so that's gotta help Black Lightning for people to stick around and watch the superhero show. But it's hard to follow, just a massively powerful show as, Enter Flashtime. So, this one, Equinox, the Book of Fate. They keep doing these titles like that. So that was the title of this show. So it's strong overall, but I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars, just because it needs to up its game and improve, because I think this could be a really successful show and probably replace one of the other 2 or 3, because I'm kind of tired. I gave up on Arrow a long time ago. Supergirl, the second season really just irked me to no end, and I haven't even looked. I'm gonna have to binge the current season to see if it's worth coming back to. I've seen 2 episodes that were pretty good, but I don't know. So Black Lightning could be quite the contender if they need to make room and drop one of these shows. Black Lightning could be the one to do it. So a good night for CW superhero shows. So there you go. I do recommend both, but certainly The Flash, and give Black Lightning a chance. I think it shows potential of being a pretty good series. Total 180 from what I thought after watching the pilot. So pretty interesting stuff there. So Enter Flashtime and Equinox, The Book of Fate, 2 good episodes. Enter Flashtime being a magnificent triumph of Flash. And boy, it's going to be hard for them to top it. It looks like the next week's episode is going to be kind of a comedic one, but they're good at carrying that off. But so it'll be a while probably before they could top that. But I mean, it's so good that if that was the last episode of the Flash series, that would have been a good one. But of course, yeah, you always want more, but then sometimes be careful what you ask for. So anyway, 5 stars for Flash, 4 stars for Black Lightning tonight. Do check them both out. They're great shows. And thanks for watching and listening. And now stay tuned for this little message about some goodies I have for you that I hope you'll visit to help support me in my little video and podcast endeavors. Also, check out the links below for more goodies that I've made for you. Say, friends, check out Nailsin Theater at sellfy.com/Nailsin. Yes, there you'll find my poor man Mystery Science Theater treatment of public domain movies that really deserve the treatment. Yes, you can head over there and check out the links to my trailers to such films on my YouTube channel. Yeah, you can preview them and then head over back to sellfy.com/Nailsin and purchase yourself some Mr. Nailsin treatments of movies. I'll be right there to guide you through it.